Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody doing today? Happy Tuesday, October the 25th. It's a beautiful day here where I am. Even though it's foggy and cold and all that stuff, I'm still thankful for a day in my life that I'm healthy and I'm able to do what I need to do. So, yes, it's a beautiful day. I'm not going to be here for long today. But because I have an appointment with you guys, I make a point to be here. So here I am. So today we are going to be talking about the 80-20 rule to eating. You guys know I like the health stuff. I am more inclined, I guess, to talk about health and living healthy in terms of our eating and our exercise and what we do with our bodies and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, so today is one of those days we are talking about health and wellness, and we are talking about the 80-20 rule of eating. So, as I always remind you guys here, our bodies are here to serve us for a lifetime, okay? And we want to do our best in terms of making sure that our bodies are fed well with nutritious foods that will be able to carry us through the whole of our life without having to be in and out of the hospital, without, having ailments in your body all the time that you have to go to the doctor to get medication or whatever to take care of. So it's our role to make sure that we are doing the best that we can do with our health, make sure that we are eating right, make sure that we are exercising, make sure we're getting enough sleep, all that kind of good stuff. Okay, so this is in line with that today in terms of what we eat. Okay, so I've talked about intermittent fasting before, and I just wanted to give another option for people who may not be interested in intermittent fasting. You know, it's kind of like what I do in my house on the days that I'm maybe fasting and I don't feel like going to cook, or if I didn't have a meal prepared in advance for other folks, I just kind of try to give them an option, so that they're not feeling like they have to go in line with what I'm doing. So that's kind of what I'm doing today. I'm trying to give another option for people who may not be interested in intermittent fasting, or who have not actually started working on intermittent fasting, but they are looking for some kind of regimen that can still help them to stay healthy. Okay, so this is it. This is the 80-20 rule. Um, but it kind of applies also for people who are intermittent fasting. The only difference is intermittent fasters take longer periods between one meal and the next, especially when they're fasting. So in this case, the 80-20 rule states that you have to eat 80% of your food, like very nutritious food, nutrient dense foods, 80% of the time. And 20% of the time you can eat, a treat here and there. For people who like chocolate, for people who like wine, for people who like cake, for people who like, this sweet stuff, and something that you indulge in that you cannot necessarily have any every day. So this is where that rule applies. So you want to make sure that you're having your carbohydrates, a good size. You're having your proteins, you're having your vitamins, you are having your vegetables, and you're drinking your water, and you're eating right 80% of the time. And this 80%, your foods are nutrient dense. When you give yourself a treat, say 1 day out of the week or 2 days out of the week, if you do have, say, you grab a donut with your coffee, or you have a glass of wine one of the evenings when you're relaxing, you wouldn't feel so much guilty. Okay. The rule here is it also applies also like in a various in other areas of our life. If you're trying to do if you're trying to work on a certain goal, for example, okay, for you to be successful in that goal, you have to be doing the right thing towards achieving that goal at least 80% of the time, most of the time, compared to how much less you don't do it. Okay, so like the weight loss thing that I do, my goal is to try and do right in terms of my eating choices, in terms of the number of hours that I fast. My goal is to try and do right 80% of the time, at least 80% of the time. Now, there are days that are not the same, that are not easy, and I may end up being hungry sooner, so I break my fast earlier. Or there are days that I just feel like I just need, some kind of carbs, So on days like those, they're already accounted for, so you don't have to feel so guilty. As long as you're eating the right food and exercising and doing what you're supposed to do 80% of the time, you can give yourself a break 20% of the time. Okay, so you just don't have to feel like you are boxed in a certain area, and if you don't do that, then you are bound to fail. You want to have a good relationship with food. And so it doesn't seem like you are telling yourself, I can never have this item. The tendency to go back and overindulge in that particular item that you say you don't want to eat is very high. So you want to give yourself a break by allowing yourself to indulge in a piece of cake, some ice cream, some chocolate every once in a while, or like we say 20% of the time. So if you have a piece of cake, today, just make sure that tomorrow you're not having a piece of cake, and the next day you're not having a piece of cake, and the day after you're not having a piece of cake. Because if you're having a piece of cake every day, then most likely you are not doing the 80/20. Okay. You want to do nutrient dense foods most of the time, which is 80%. Hey, Afi, how are you? Good afternoon to you. It's a good morning to me here. I promised you I'll be here, right? Yes, here I am today, and I'm glad that you've joined us here. Yeah. So how can you be successful with the 80/20 rule? One of the things that you want to do is to make sure that you're staying within the guidelines. Like we said, make sure you're having your vegetables, make sure you're having your water, make sure you are having your serving of carbohydrates and your lean proteins. Make sure that you're having those in when you're not extremely hungry, because the tendency to eat more and to eat something that is not within the 80% is very high when you're hungry. Because let's face it, how many times do you get to control yourself when you see a certain food that you like and you're hungry? How many times do you actually control yourself? For those who have very strong sense of control, kudos to you. But most people struggle with that. So you have to think about it in advance and plan on how you're going to overcome that. Okay, so that means having foods ready in advance. um, so you're not having to scramble for something when you're hungry and end up eating more of what you're not supposed to eat in the 80%. Okay. The other thing is that you want to avoid doing the 20% only on the weekends. Okay. Because some people will say, oh, I eat right Monday through Friday, but on the weekend, I try to give myself a break. Now, the problem with that is if you push that over to the weekend, chances are you're gonna let the wheels come off your car, um, and most likely you're gonna tell yourself, oh, it's the weekend, so I can indulge, I can have what I can have what I want, right? And so you end up undoing all the good work that you are doing during the week. You end up overeating on maybe the sweets or whatever it is that you're having, because you're telling yourself, oh, my 20% goes to the weekend. It's safer to weave that 20% in the middle of the week. If you need to, like I say, if you need to have a glass of wine, if you need to have a piece of chocolate, if you need to have a piece of cake or whatever, weave that in your diet in the middle of the week, so that you're not leaving that to the weekend and then you're setting yourself up for failure by saying, you're free to eat anything you want on the weekend, because most likely you're going to end up overdoing it unless you have very good self control. And then you're just going to be messing up what you just did all week. Okay. The other thing is, you also have to be mindful about the calories that you're intaking, because just because we are saying you eat good calories 80% of the time does not mean you overindulge in the good calories. So, for example, if you are on a 1800 calorie diet, you can tell yourself, okay, so 1500 calories, you're going to have the 80%. So, in that case, you're going to have your lean meat, you're going to have your vegetables, your portion size of carbohydrates, and then the 300 calories, you can allow yourself to have a glass of wine, or you can allow yourself to have some dessert, assuming you had gone out to eat with some friends. Okay, so you you think about it, and you try to divide those calories, and majority of the calories should be nutrient dense, and then the lesser calories goes to something that you want to indulge in. Okay. um you want to have a positive mindset about this, because what happens is, like I said, the example of the weekend, if you have the mindset that you are free to do whatever you want with your diet on the weekend, you are setting up yourself for failure. So you have to have a positive mindset about it. And this subject of mindset, it comes up all the time, because mindset affects all areas of our life. If you want to do better with your health, if you want to do better with your career, if you want to do better with your finances, if you want to do better with your relationships, or even your attitude, it all starts from your mindset. So as much as you read the literature, you have to use that literature, then adjust your mind to what it is that you want. Okay. And make your mind to follow through with that which you want to do, because it will transform you, and therefore it won't be as much work for your brain to do, to think about it and to make you do the right thing. So mindset adjustment has a lot to do with what we do in our lives and whether we are going to do better or not. Most people, if they keep staying in the old mindset, then you keep getting the same results over and over. If you want to get different results, adjust your mindset, adjust your attitude, and that will take you a long way. and you'll be surprised. Okay, so bottom line, good health involves a series of good behaviors, including exercise, stress management, sleep hygiene. It's more than just eating correctly. Okay, you have to know how to manage your stress, not just knowing how to manage. You have to know when you're starting to stress is starting to creep into your life. You have to identify those signs like, okay, um, I'm starting to get stressed. So find ways to decompress, find ways of dealing with it before it gets to an extreme and it spills over to other people. Okay. The other good behaviors is exercise. Okay. Whatever that you can do on a daily basis, you want to try and move your body. Do whatever you can do. 10 minutes, 15 minutes is better than nothing at all. I know we walk around the house, we are doing house chores and all that, and that's fine. But it will be even better if you just schedule some time, 15, 20 minutes that you just schedule, like, okay, this is my exercise time. And so exercise time doesn't mean now you have to go to the gym or you have to gather this equipment, for exercise, or you have to feel like you have to go take a walk or run or something like that. No, you can just do small stretches here, deep breathe in and out exercise, stretch your body, deep breathe, move. um, that's better for your lungs and for your whole body instead of just not doing anything at all. I know it sounds like a broken record, my people. Please don't get mad at me. I am just a messenger, because it's very sad when you find young people just dying, you know, mindlessly. And what do I mean? I'm just saying the issue of pulmonary embolism is rampant. It's very rampant. I know of a particular lady, older lady, who had come from my country to come and visit their kids here. Okay, so come and watch the grandkids for a little bit. And unfortunately, the lady, as soon as she got from the aeroplane, she collapsed at the airport. Okay. And after she collapsed at the airport, they called the emergency services. She was taken to the emergency department, and they found out that she had a pulmonary embolism. Okay. So, of course, they did the treatment that they did, and they thought everything was fine, and she was discharged and went home. Okay. Little did the family know, they thought mom was okay, and so they left her with the kid and they went to work. And unfortunately, when they came back in the morning or in the evening, I don't know which one it was, they found that the lady had passed on. Yeah. And it's so sad because according to them, the mother had been treated, and she had gone home with medications that will help thin her blood, to prevent blood clots and all that. But unfortunately, the lady had not even been in America for 10 days. And she's no more. Uh-huh. And then another example, I think I talked about it on my channel. A family friend of ours, a young man, um, felt unwell and decided to call 911 because he was driving. He pulled over. He decided to call 911 because he was having some chest pain. And unfortunately, by the time the ambulance got to him on the side of the road, he was unresponsive. Okay, of course, they did the right thing, took him to the emergency room and tried to resuscitate him and all that. But unfortunately, he was never able to make it. Turns out he also had pulmonary embolism. So pulmonary embolism mainly comes, especially when people travel and you sit for a long time without moving. So the blood tends to pool and clot. Okay, so You want to do yourself a favor and move, move, move. Don't eat and just lay there. And especially for those of us who work from home, now that COVID came and people are able to work from home, give yourself a break. Whenever you get a break, if you have stairs, go up and down the stairs. You can sit on the sofa and stretch, and do some kind of exercise, something. Just move your body. If you're traveling, I recommend getting what we call the TED stockings, compression stockings. Put those on, and even in the aeroplane when you're traveling, stand up, walk back and forth, walk back and forth. So we gotta talk to our loved ones, and most importantly, we have to practice these things ourselves. Life is very precious, and it's very sad that somebody comes here to visit their kids and grandchildren, and within a span of 10 days, somebody's gone. And another one is just, running errands, and all of a sudden, they're having a little chest pain, boom, somebody's gone. So of course, some of these things, I'm just human. I don't know everything. But if there's something that we can do to control some of those things and to take care of some of these situations, at least we do our part. You know what I mean? We do our part in terms of eating right, exercising right, just doing right by ourselves. If something does happen, then it's beyond us. But for that which we can do, let's do it. This body goes a long way to serve us. So let's be nice to it. you know, you want it to serve you for a long time, be nice to it. Do good to it. Just like, you have friends and family members and you want them to do right by you, you want them to be trustworthy, loyal to you. Be nice and loyal to your body and do the right thing. Give it sleep, give it the right food, give it rest, stretch, exercise. Um, don't put, things that are harmful in your body, you know, long time smoking and drinking and all these things, they have effect. I can't tell you how many times I work in a cardiac unit. I can't tell you how many times I've seen young, especially male, in their 40s, in their 50s. They'll come there, and man, most of them don't like to go to the doctor. They don't like to go to doctor's visits. Even when they're feeling unwell, it's like you literally have to push them to go see the doctor or to go to the emergency room. There are people who are very good. There are men who are very good in terms of taking care of their health. But as a, as a rule of thumb, we know men don't like to go to the doctor. But it's important. It's important for our men to get checked out. I see men in their 40s, in their 50s, they come, they'll tell you they don't have any history. They'll tell you they don't have diabetes, they don't have hypertension, they don't have cholesterol. That's what they'll tell you, right? But by the time they run the blood work and do the tests, you are amazed. You are amazed at the results. I one time had a patient who had a hemoglobin A1C of 10.6. This guy claims he's not a diabetic, you know, he's in good health. 10.6. Hemoglobin, for those people who know, anybody here um, healthcare inclined that can tell me what A1C is supposed to be? What is A1C supposed to be? Is it supposed to be more than a 6? It's not supposed to be more than a 6. Once you start going to 5.6, 5.7, and all that, some doctors, 5.9, the doctors will start telling you, hey, you need to watch. You need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do that. If you don't, most likely they're going to put you on some cholesterol medicine and, stuff like that. So, yeah, This guy had a cholesterol, or I mean, A1C of 10.6, 10.8, something like that. His blood pressure was off the roof. It was over 200, and he will tell you he has no blood pressure. Hmm. Yeah. Matter of fact, I think he had initially gone to the urgent care, but they wouldn't treat him because his blood pressure was super high, and they said just go to the emergency room. So when he came to the emergency room, his blood pressure was sky, his blood pressure was sky high. He was having chest pain. Um, and when we checked the A1C, it was like 10 point something. So right there and then, this guy, of course, has diabetes. He just doesn't know. Mhm. He already has high blood pressure. He just doesn't know, and he hasn't been taking medications to bring that blood pressure down. So guess what? This guy could easily stroke out, and he has no idea. This guy could, because of the A1C being so high and being diabetic, he would start losing his sight, and start getting neuropathy, and he has no idea. Why? Because our men don't like going to the doctor. That guy had to go through heart catheterization so they can figure out where the blockage is, because his cholesterol level was also off the roof. So, yes, I will not stop blowing the trumpet. Um, I'm not a messenger of doom. No, I am a messenger of hope. Okay. And that is my role. That is my role. My role is to make sure that we are doing right by our bodies, we are eating right, we are exercising right. Even though you may not be able to do it 100% of the time, at least you should be able to do it 80% of the time. You're welcome, Afi. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, so if we're not able to do it 100% of the time, because things happen, life happens, but make sure you're doing right by your body 80% of the time. Eat right, exercise right, manage your stress, make sure you're getting enough sleep. Okay, because when you sleep, that's when your body is repairing, all is repairing itself. If you don't get enough sleep, then the body never gets enough time to repair itself. Even the brain cells. Um, that's why you're seeing people getting dementia so early these days, because part of it has to do with the diet. Mhm. It has to do with the diet. And research is showing also that people not getting enough sleep, enough rest, no sleep hygiene. And so, yeah, dementia is catching even people as young as 68. I've met a 68-year-old who had quite advanced dementia. Like, she literally didn't know right or left, nothing. She didn't know. She didn't know her name. She didn't know where she's at, what's going on. If nothing. So it's very sad that a 68-year-old has advanced dementia. So if there are things that we can do, let's do them. One body, that's all we get. I don't care how much money you have, I don't care how rich you are, you are not going to be able to purchase another body. Mm-mm. Nope. So the only way that money will help you right now is if you need a personal chef, okay, that can help you cook your meals. First of all, you need to go see a dietitian if you feel like you need help in terms of your dieting and how you're eating. If you have that money, get a dietitian first of all. The dietitian then will walk you and give you a plan. Then you get a private chef. They can fix you whatever you want. That, if for those who have money, if you want to utilize the money, that is the way you can utilize the money now. Because once that body starts going downhill, forget it. You know, once you lose your life, you lose your life. So if you want that money to help you now, this is the time. Get your own gym. If you don't want to go to the gym, make your own gym. Get your own personal trainer. Get a dietitian. Get a personal chef. What else? Um, if you feeling stressed and you want somebody that you can talk to, and therapies and stuff like that, use that money, get those services now, so that your body can be in good shape and in good health to carry you for a long time ahead. Okay. If you want to be able to make more income and be able to do the things that you love, take care of the body that you have. I know I will not stop singing this song because I have worked in the hospital for quite some time. I have seen some things which have made some changes in my life personally, and so I use those experiences that I've seen to teach other people, to educate other people, to inspire other people to do better. Okay, so yes, I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be blowing this trumpet because that is my job. That is what I've been called to do, and I will do it with all the love in my heart. Okay. So yes, that is what I wanted to talk about to you guys today. We are gonna try and do the 80-20 approach. Eat nutritious foods, nutrient dense foods 80% of the time. If you want to indulge, you can do a 20%, but don't try to push it over the weekend, because there's a chance that you're going to overindulge and eat anything because you're saying, yeah, it's the weekend, and it's my 20%. So be gracious to yourself. You don't have to necessarily deny yourself everything unless your doctor has told you completely stay away from a certain item, like for people who are gluten, people who are on a gluten-free diet. They can't have most of the wheat stuff because it has gluten in them. So for people like those, if your doctor says you need to stay from away from this kind of food, then you have no choice. You can stay from it. But for those who have no issues, no cholesterol, um, no issues, and you just wanna indulge in something, you can. Just make sure that at least 80% of the time you're eating the right foods. And even if once in a while you have a glass of wine, have some cake or whatever, you don't have to feel so guilty. As we say, yes, life is too short, but do the right thing and enjoy, a little bit here and there. Alrighty. Free Gun and Records. Who's that? I have not seen that name here before. You're welcome here. Have you been to this page before? Free Friganan? Frigagan? I can't say that name. But you're welcome. I think you're watching from YouTube. I see the YouTube sign. Maybe that's why. Yeah, again, I forgot to introduce myself at the beginning of the broadcast. My name is Betty Small. My page is Learn and Grow with Betty Small. Okay. I have a page on my own that I run, yes, but Sister Amma is so kind enough to give me space and time on her Amma Manson network. Okay, so I come here on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I talk about different subjects. It could be finances, it could be health and wellness, it could be um, different things. So I'm here Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I have not been so active on my page, but I'm gonna put some gas and be more active over there. So I do have quite some videos over there. You're more than welcome to um, click, or I think on the comments, you should be able to see a link to my page. So you can go over there and check it out. And if you like what I have over there, like, and you can share, and you can invite other people to like the page and stuff like that. Yeah, so that's who I am. My name is Betty Small. I've been a nurse for quite some time, over a decade, different areas in the healthcare. Um, Currently, I work as a community nurse, but I also do work in the hospital. So, I see both acute issues and chronic issues in the society. Um, so I'm able to talk about both, and what we can do to manage them in the long term. Okay, so diabetes is one of those things I like to talk about. I like to talk about hypertension because these are very, very manageable diseases. And it's very sad when you see, especially our people in Africa, when they say somebody died of diabetes. I'm like, what do you mean somebody died of diabetes? It's a very manageable disease. But, you know, sometimes lack of knowledge, um, no education, they're not getting educated properly. And sometimes it has to do also with the lack of funds to access the correct foods and the medications. So, yeah, different factors here. But for those who are able to afford their medications and they are able to get the education, educate yourself and do it on behalf of your loved ones. So the knowledge that you get, you share with them so that they can also make better and informed decisions as you. We are responsible for our loved ones. Okay. I am responsible for my mother. I'm responsible for my mother in law. I'm responsible for, my other family members who may not come across this kind of information easily. So I have a responsibility to take care of me and take care of my loved ones. So I educate them so that they can make better decisions, so that they can live longer, so that I can also enjoy them for a longer time. All right, good people. All right, I said I wasn't going to be too long here today. Unless anybody has a question, a comment, concern, anything like that, I'll be glad to answer you. I will give it a couple of minutes, and then if nobody has anything to say, we will wrap it up at 40 minutes. Is that okay? Yes? Yes. So, yeah, consistency. Who has challenges with the word consistency? Not just the word, but the whole idea about being consistent. You start something and everything is going well, you're motivated, and you know, you start doing the right things and you have very high energy, and then it just gets to some point and then it goes zhoop, or you slowly start going down, 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 down. So the thing is with consistency, you don't have to do it 100% of the time. Like I said earlier, we are human, things happen, but just make a point to do the right thing 80% of the time. When you realize that you haven't done the right thing and you need to do the right thing, wake up tomorrow, okay, and pivot and make a turn. Start going to the right direction. If you find that with time, you have veered away from the direction you're supposed to go, when you find out the next day, wake up, make a turn, and start going the right direction, you know? So catch yourself when you're starting to go the wrong way and do the right thing 80% of the time. It'll help you in staying consistent. It will help you in staying consistent. Okay. So if you're struggling with consistency, it's okay. Just make sure at least you're trying to do it 80% of the time. And when you start going down the slippery slope, don't just let loose and say, okay, throw in the towel and just just say like, whatever, let it be. No, you don't want to do that. You want to be kind to yourself and gracious to yourself and say, okay, I slept yesterday, whether it's in terms of eating or whether you've been missing your exercise or whether you haven't gone to see your doctor for your annual physical or whether there is something that you need to follow up with your doctor and you haven't. When you realize that, you stop, okay? You give yourself a break, take a deep breath, and tomorrow, make the right turn and start going toward the right direction, okay? It doesn't have to be 100% of the time, at least 80% of the time. If you guys don't remember anything else that I said over here, just remember the 80-20. Do the right thing 80% of the time in any area of your life, and you can manage the 20. Okay? Alrighty. Afi, I guess I'll have to go. Nobody has any comments here. I know it's usually early. I didn't even realize that the people in like California, Arizona, Seattle, it's just 7 in the morning over there. They're literally waking up. Um, and some people who are working, who are maybe 5, 6 hours ahead, 8 hours ahead, they're probably wrapping up their day. So I'll try to see maybe we can mix the times so it doesn't have to be 10 a.m. all the time. And therefore, we can be able to catch other people and interact more. Okay. All right, good people. I don't want to run my mouth too much. I just don't want to dilute the message. I'm hoping that that was helpful today, and somebody will get inspired and encouraged to do the right thing. All right, good people. I'll see you later, Afi. Have a good day. Talk to you later. Bye bye.